What's good, family? Welcome to another episode of An Honest Conversation about Hip Hop. It's your boy D. Moraney, aka Hip Hop's Uncle Phil, aka Hip Hop's old head, and as always with me I have the one and only.
It's your boy Sean Capone, the greatest rapper never known. And they say it never rained in Southern California. Well, Raphael Sadiq, you lying, bro.
Lying like a motherfucker. Raphael, he's not a weatherman. He's just a dope ass musician.
Yeah, you know.
So let me get your opinion. Shout out to the Black House Music Group on Facebook. Shout out to Bruce. They just recently ran greatest or the best R&B group according to the Black House. Who do you think won as the best R&B group ever? The GOAT.
Because my opinion gonna be totally different than what they thinking. But I mean, how far they taking it? Was his 90s? I mean,
no, this was ever. This was
so ever the best R&B group ever.
This was definitely just not the 90s. So the two finalists both had a presence in the 90s. One of the groups basically helped frame the genre or what it turned into, and basically created a megastar and some other stars as well. And the other group, probably one of the most slept on groups in R&B history, that brought their own sound to the genre. So I know I'm doing some, this is just off the head. We didn't discuss this, but who would you think those groups would be? Just off the
whim. You said in the 90s, and they had a big superstar.
So Group A has a lot of longevity, and they also were the blueprint for a lot of groups that followed. They also were able to create many different careers in the industry. One of those careers arguably could be one of the greatest ever to do it in his genre or subgenre of R&B.
Taking this too deep. You gonna have to these blues clues over here. I'm fucking lost.
Right. So Group A was on one side of the bracket was New Edition. They had Bobby. Had a whole bunch of bunch of other, right, Bell Biv DeVoe. Okay,
that's okay. No.
So New Edition, was on one side of the bracket.
Okay,
and then on the
you blew them up, motherfucker. What
do you mean I blew? Is not Bobby? Is Bobby not one of the greatest to do it for his type of R&B? That.
I mean, he's
dance at the party R&B.
Hey, I'm probably, other than Whitney, I'm probably Bobby's biggest fan. Yeah, I still ride with Bobby.
Rest in peace to Whitney. Bobby gonna fuck you up.
Hey, man, I rock with Bobby, man. Bobby was my childhood and shit like that. I still rock with that shit. But like as far as the greatest,
one of the greatest.
Man, New Edition was. Wonderful, man.
And you said wonderful.
It was wonderful.
You don't give them much.
They legends, but
are they in your R&B top 5?
Top 5?
Top 5. No. So give me your groups, your top 5. And again, this is all off the head, so don't trip. But give me your top 5 R&B groups of all time.
Yeah, we talk about longevity, man.
Just give me all time.
Longevity.
Your 5.
The Isleys, because the motherfuckers is 80 years old, still rocking. Okay. You're talking about 7 decades.
No, you say the Isleys.
Material.
You don't need to. You don't even have to speak on that. So you just say Isleys, and it's like, all right, good. Give me another number.
So the Isleys, I mean, and I'm just thinking of longevity and shit like that. The greatest groups and their contributions and shit like that. I mean, New Edition as far as a collective and how they broke up and shit, they had a run, but I'm trying to think who the fuck else. And it's gonna piss me off because when we get off of the mic,
again, I'm just throwing this at you. So let me give you some names, and you tell me if they're above New Edition, okay?
All right.
So, Isleys, definitely. Boys II Men.
Nah.
No. Okay. Respect that. Jodeci.
No, New Edition have more of the music. I favor more Jodeci, and it was better composed music. But unfortunately, if we're looking, longevity is their Achilles.
Well, yeah, Jodeci didn't have the longevity there. Their impact though on the music. So you say that.
No, they didn't have Bobby Brown and fucking Bell Biv
No,
DeVoe
but they
impact. No,
they spawned Missy Elliott,
No, okay.
Timberland.
Yeah, but then I mean, shit, fucking what's it called? With Prince or shit, Morris Day at the time is, you know what I mean, with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis and all them motherfuckers. You know what I mean? You talking about spawning and shit like that, like
Right. No, I know. I'm not taking that away, but I'm saying you were kind of hitting Jodeci with the impact to the culture.
no.
And so
Like
New Edition had a lot of impact to the culture, but so did Jodeci.
No, I'm not saying that they didn't. I'm saying longevity. So Jodeci for the
Of course.
impact. So
Which-
90, like Jodeci, what 92, 93, and then Timberland and Missy. When did that wave kind of mellow out? You're talking about maybe what 2010. So I mean they
Timbo continued to produce for many more years and generations. You know what I mean? It's Missy. I mean, it's dead now, but I'd say New Edition's run is gone too. But no, I could definitely respect that. So we had we said the Isleys definitely no Boys and Men, no Jodeci, the OJs.
I mean longevity. You know what I mean? Because
So would you put them over New Edition?
Nah.
You wouldn't put the OJs over New Edition, huh?
Because we were talking now. Here, Voltron breaks the fuck up, and you know what I mean. Fortunately, with what's it called, Eddie, and I don't know the other brothers' names and shit like that, but I mean, like I said,
right.
New Edition, like I said, collectively as a group, and then once they broke off, they all.
What about Guy?
Guy.
Come on. Teddy Riley? Aaron Hall? No, they don't get no love. Guy doesn't get no love.
Not New Edition. They're
Okay.
not New Edition. You know what I mean?
I know. I feel like we missing a shitload of dope ass groups, man. I feel horrible right about now. But like I said, anyway, that's just an off the domer right there. But yeah. So anyway, to get back to the original point, on the one side of the bracket was New Edition. On the other side of the bracket was Tony, and Tony was victorious as far as the GOAT R&B group.
Yeah. I'm a fan of Tony.
Oh yeah, all day.
And
Raphael Sadiq.
I don't know. This is one I wasn't prepared for. This is a good one we can come back to.
Yeah, no, we
as
talk
far
about that
as-
another time. But this was just some shit off the top.
All right. Yeah. I mean,
So thank you again for listening. We always want to start off with that. Rocking with us. You know where to find us. Spotify, Google Play, as well as Facebook. So check us out. Google An Honest Conversation About Hip Hop. And give us 30 minutes of your day. Won't be disappointed. So Sam, your boy, Mr. Hernandez.
Why all these little fuck ups got to be my boy, man?
Mac, you was right. When he was home, you
Nah,
was
man,
6'9" this and 6'9"
Nah,
that.
man, come on, bro.
I know, I'm fucking with you. Tekashi has gotten his release date, allegedly, 8/2 of 2020. So he'll be home, still get his summer turn up on. Now, originally, what did he get hit with? Like 40.
He
was looking at like 47 years, but then after he cooperated, he only got 24 months. All the other folks are looking at big
15,
time.
20.
Yes, I think somebody almost got like 30 something years.
Yeah, they got it's they whole the whole little hood they shot caller, so yeah, they not looking too pretty right now.
So he's coming home. We've talked about this before. When do we expect the frenzy of 6ix9ine coming home? Like what's has your outlook at all changed since we last spoke about this?
No, I mean it is what it is. I mean it's set in stone, and he made his moves and he called upon his fate. So I mean where I stand is I hope the human in me hope nothing happened to him where anyone is harmed. Not him, his family, anyone that he associates himself with.
Of course, never that.
But I'm not looking out for the music or anything. there's no truth behind, him as an artist and the shit he was talking. You know what I mean? We knew he was talking out of his ass back then, but now.
On the mic check, we were talking about manufactured hits. Do you think as soon as Tekashi comes home that they are going to have some shit ready for him, lined up?
You gotta capitalize.
You don't think he gets any respite from having to jump back in and then be whatever the new character is?
Well, I mean, I don't know. With that, I don't know how the fuck what they're angling, or how are they gonna approach this. I mean, if it was me, I'd go for the fucking gusto, capitalize with him getting out while the mind is still fresh on it, because everybody still want to see what the fuck he gonna say and how he gonna act, and what energy he's gonna come out with. You know what I mean? So he still got the world's attention. So I mean, if it was me personally, I think this would be the time to capitalize, as opposed to just reinventing himself. Coming out, at a strategic time. And try to capitalize that way. I think his buzz is gonna be the peak of it right now.
I'm surprised that he hasn't been able to release anything. Like Jules Santana just dropped a record from the pen, and there's been Shine dropped a record. There's been people who have dropped records from behind bars. I'm just surprised that he hasn't dropped anything. Like, he hasn't been on any podcasts or anything like that. I mean, do you think that might be part of the witness protection, part of this?
It could be, and then we got to understand too. I mean, and with federal prisons, I don't know how they operate, but he is in the federal prison. Everybody else is in the state. So maybe with the state, I've heard Mac Dre, shout to Mac Dre, and the first time that I've ever heard of Mac Dre, he recorded his whole album in Fresno County Jail. So, but it wasn't like they had the studio, no shit like that.
Yeah,
this motherfucker was on the phone, and put that shit to the beat, and we'd fucking have a headache listening to the quality of it, but for the idea of it was way ahead of its time, and we're talking about mid-90s and shit like that.
Cats was rocking with it, and it was something that is legendary, regardless of how you felt on the quality of the music. It was legendary.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I don't know if maybe federal they have more of a tight plug, and then with witness protection, you know what I mean.
Because the pictures have leaked of him and his little chick or whatever, but that's all pretty much that we've been.
That's
able to
it.
see.
That's all we're getting. So I mean, but it could be the label pressing to hold him back too, to build up the anticipation of him coming home.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like I said, it's interesting. I'd love to be the fly on the wall as far as what their game plan is, because I think it could go either way. But I don't know. I'd throw his ass out there in the fire immediately and capitalize, and whatever the fuck they got planned, start running with it,
I mean, I just hope he's safe, like you said.
Yeah.
You never want anything bad to happen. I know there's people who have that type of energy out there for him. It seems like Blueface is one of these cats who is taking some shots out of him. He keeps kind of barking. I think that's probably, and I'm saying this now, when 6ix9ine comes home, I would anticipate a Blueface diss track, or Blueface doing a lot of woofing, because that sounds like a Whack 100 play.
Yeah. That's the energy they bring. So
exactly, and they want to capitalize and be involved in that.
Yeah, this shit, this trolling shit, and you know what I mean, and going back and forth. Thank you, game.
Well, so speaking of thank you, game. So you seen the young boy from Houston, and no disrespect, the young man from Houston that's pretending to be, or Dallas, that's pretending to be Nipsey Hussle.
He's pretending. Like I seen him.
He got the tats. He went and got Nipsey's tats.
Yeah, prolific and
hairstyle, beard is the same. Doesn't call himself Nipsey Hussle, but I think his face, or his Facebook or Instagram or some shit's Young Hustle 100 or something. Slogan: the marathon will continue, or something like that. He's even posted on his Instagram account, or one of these accounts, basically quotes of
Nipsey.
the whole king queen, so it's just to me it's a little weird. Like, how you feel about that song?
Hey man, it's self-love, man, and it's just it's just issues in our community, man. I mean, to take it to that extent, it's just letting you know that less love given. You know what I mean? And it's good. It's good to have someone to look up to, and I mean, independent how young you are to idolize. You know what I mean? But to take it to that extent and try to actually be someone and not their ideals, you know what I mean, is a little too much for me, man. But I mean, that's, unfortunately with that kid and many of the kids out there, is identification, and there's nothing to really identify, to other than, artists and,
which see in the streets, and if you don't have that support at home, or those are people to view at home and in a positive light, you want to aspire to be, and sometimes you get sucked into the negative things, that people see. I would have no problem with this.
What you mean?
Let me explain.
What are you, Laura London, off of a couple Boone's Farms and shit, or what, man?
Yo, that's fucked up. No,
sorry, Laura, that's just a joke. It's just a joke, man. Respect,
what I'm saying is this. I would not have a problem with you wanting to emulate someone.
Bro,
as far as their ideals. As far as their ideals. Have no problem with that. That's been done. Everybody,
no, of course.
That's facts.
It's all shaped.
The tattoos, the hairstyle, the beard,
dress,
calling yourself Young Hustle. To me, it's weirdo shit. I look at it like the Michael Jackson impersonators, the Prince impersonators, the people that impersonate these
artists,
these mega stars. But now, if that's your job, I don't knock it. That's your job. If you are a Michael Jackson impersonator,
and you singing at birthday parties and
shit, baby's got to eat.
Don't stop till you get enough.
Baby's got to eat. If that's your job, that's your job. But if you walk around in your day to day as one of these stars, because it's somebody else. It wouldn't be cool if somebody was walking around impersonating De'Ami Moraney. People be like, "What? That's weird. Why you walking around being Sal Capone? What? That's weird." But because it's Mike or Prince or something like that, it's acceptable.
Yeah, nah.
That, you know what I mean?
No, I feel you, man.
It's crazy to me. So that's why him having a Nipsey persona is wild, and I agree with you. That's self-love. And it's evident that this young man does it. I'm not going to shout your name out because I'm not going to get you. You already get enough looks.
I don't know.
For doing what you're doing.
The maturity in me is just like, I don't want to bash him or anything like that. Because
no, I'm not bashing.
No. I'm not saying that you are. I think we kind of just, as a culture and people, I think we just need it. I mean, we know it's a little, I won't say sickening, but it's a little twisted.
It's
disgusting. Know what I mean? As far as
not real talk. Like, you're grown. Like, this is a grown man.
No, I know.
You
man,
should be you.
But man, he's just not in a good place, man. And I think
it's obvious.
I don't think that. Hopefully that nothing too fucking extreme go to him. Like, nobody gonna hurt him and no shit like that. But I'm pretty sure he's hearing the fucking wrath and shit like that.
He's already getting death threats.
Yeah.
As the internet,
damn, I didn't know it was that serious.
Yeah, no. As the internet does. The internet saying he's out here in Cali walking around talking about these Nipsey Hustle and Nipsey Hood wants to kill him, which is not true because he's in Dallas. But what he said, according to this article, was that little kids run up to him and say, "Oh man, you're Nipsey Hustle?" And he says, "No, I just have his tattoos." He's like, "But I don't tell anybody my name is Nipsey. I tell them what my real name is, but I just tell them I have his tattoos."
Which is still a little weird, but
it's weird to have the exact same. Now, I want to ask you this. With this type of shit going on, does that elevate Nipsey's legacy to where the Pacs and the other people who... Because remember when Pac passed? A couple years passed, and you had like Hispanic niggas looking like Pac, brothers, Filipinos. Like, you had a whole bunch of versions of Pacs running around. You know what I mean? Is Nip now at that level of fandom when it comes to his story?
Definitely. With social media and shit like that, man, it's a big event, man. And Nip was, of the culture, man. And was he on the Pac-esque? I don't think so, but like I said, it's just unfortunate, and I think that he was taken away too soon. So I mean, like I said, he's in that light, bro.
I'm gonna tell you this, and this is no disrespect to Pac, because I know that he is hip hop's.
That you know that.
That you know that I know that you know that Pac is hip hop's icon.
Mm-hmm. No, of course.
That's he's the top of the tier.
Yeah,
that's it. There's no debating. Just because of right now the demographic in hip hop, old heads and the generation before that, and the generation after. Well, old heads, the generations after, and the generations before. That's 3 generations, 30 years. All respect Pac. But I'm gonna tell you this: another 20 years from now, that is going to change, and the generation then, the majority is going to remember the day that Nipsey died. They're going to remember how that felt. And as long as people can continue to keep his memory and legacy alive, he has a good chance, not for his music, not for what he did career-wise, but what he meant and what he had a chance to kind of go ahead and inspire. Pac inspired folks musically, and maybe to be bold or whatever, but Nipsey, before he passed, actually kind of put some things in motion, and if those things happen, his impact will be more of an impact overall than Pac. I'm not saying he can outseat him as hip hop's icon, but I'm just saying people will if everything goes smoothly, the foundation, the school, everything he put into plan, these businesses, these hotels that he's trying to buy, these resorts, if all these things jump off, his legacy at the end of the day of what he did and was able to leave for his people will definitely outweigh what Pac was able to do. Just and again, different circumstances or whatnot, so you can't slight Pac for his circumstances. He came out of jail and made the best of a fucked up situation, where Nip was able to kind of grind independent and really learn. Pac never had that opportunity, so no disrespect there. Definitely. Speaking about, man, throwing to the fire, man, Pras. So the judge about a year ago said, yo, ready or not, you got to pay this back child support. And he did it, so they were like, we're going to find you and take it slowly. So he was arrested, unfortunately, for $150,000 of back child support. Pras basically said, look, man, I ain't got it. And the reason is the feds came and took $72 million of my money. This was something that was allegedly tied to a laundering scheme or some shit like that. So, first off, what do you make of this whole Pras child support laundering shit?
I mean, child support is no joke, man. That's a fucking tab that don't run out, man. It is being part of the party and shit. Like,
pitching on the party for sure.
Hey, man,
I got yours, you got mine, and we're clubbing.
I've always wanted to make it as an artist and shit like that, but thank God I never met Wyclef, because then I'd have these kind of problems too and shit. Like fucking.
Gone to November too.
Oh yeah, man, gone to November. No Wyclef and Lord. You know what I mean? Like shit. But yeah, man, it's real. It is real. I mean, I don't know. Like you said, with the money laundering, it has something to do with the Clinton campaign, or was it Obama?
It was Obama. The article I read said it was Obama.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, I don't know what he had his hands tied into at that point, but I don't know. Is that when they figured the tab of what he's paying now is when he was getting that money, or was it prior? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it didn't say that. But if it was when he was getting that money, then he should be able to file and say, look, I didn't have enough to pay, because originally I think he defaulted on like 4 G's or something. Mm-hmm. He went into court and said, hey, I sent the money, and they were like, we never sent it.
Oh yeah, the fake wire and shit like that.
Yeah, the fake wire and shit. Yeah. So,
well, you know what, man, he gotta go. You know what I mean? Like,
but his friend was the one that sent him the money, and then they're asking him about it. He's like, well, hopefully my friend will come forward with the paperwork to help me out.
Where did it go?
Yeah,
you know,
it's just like big lies. You know what I mean? But what I want to ask you on the serious note is, like, how do we do child support differently, in your opinion? You know, that's something that you deal with on I don't know, bi-weekly or monthly basis. I don't know.
It's a monthly whop, man.
So monthly you deal with this, and there's harsh consequences or repercussions if you don't pay.
You can't travel, you can't leave the country.
Which I understand, but is there a better way to make this happen? Like, how does this improve for both parties?
I mean, to me, I don't know, man. I think that, and it's gonna be hard to really dictate this, or to really have a solution for it, because the solution is us. You know what I mean? As far as men and women, you know what I mean? The mother and the father, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of animosity, lack of communication, and there's just not doing what's best for the child. I think honestly, you know what would do it, but this shit would never fucking happen, is if you had a clinical psychologist mediate what was best for the child, and I think that would probably be the most common ground, and then mediate the payments and income and things of that nature, to where everybody is getting help, and it's not one-sided, because there's cats that take advantage of the shit, but then then there's women that take the power of the shit too.
The only reason I don't like that is because the clinical psychologist is not going to factor into culture. So there's some things,
but you can get it culture based. Yeah, I mean, again, but this is in my perfect world, and you're asking me for a solution. This would be my solution.
I think that's a good idea, but I think where that problem would run into is a clinical psychologist going to be cool with the mother who raises you, calling you a pendejo, throwing chanclas at you, or a mom who tells you go outside and pick that switch, or So if you have a parent who is a little more savvier, the other parent who's just a good parent, they just parent differently, might not get that right that they should.
Well, I mean, shit.
But I like what you're saying. There should be some sort of a real mediation process, and it should be looked at like what is definitely best for the child, and what are you guys willing to do and prepare and commit for the child, and maybe some therapy sessions. As far as after the transition, like mandated shit, court-wise, and even between ex-husband and ex-wife. I think that, like, for instance, this won't happen because she sprung, but my wife and I are never divorced. If we did, then what would have to happen, and I would insist on it, is therapy sessions together to discuss how we're going to go forward and co-parent. Like, let's kill all the shit now, because at the end of the day, Diami is the most important thing now. Well, he's the most important thing now in our lives. But how do we get past why we broke down and then walk away without not having any animosity, and ill will going forward? So, man, good luck to Pras. I mean, I don't know what he's doing. I don't know how he's handling business nowadays.
He better be doing a little more of it, because he got to tell Pras gonna be working on Sundays and shit.
Hey, Ghetto Superstar 2, I'm sure he's dropping real
Old
soon.
Dirty can't save you now, baby.
Maya's still around.
Hey,
It'll be something. They'll figure it out.
Shit.
They'll manufacture a hit.
Nah, that factory been closed, bro.
You don't think there's a team of people out there right now
that'll fuck with Pras and get him out of this debt? I don't think Wyclef could help him right now and shit, man.
So you don't think that you couldn't get some super producer to get the right team?
Not for Pras.
No. Okay.
Yeah,
you think a Fuji's reunion?
That ship sailed with coronavirus, bro. That shit is gone.
Let me ask you this: how big would be if they could settle all their differences, put their shit to the side? How big would a Fuji's reunion record be?
It wouldn't be big, bro.
You don't think so?
I am starting to realize And just being an artist, man, just because you get back together and you've made timeless music doesn't mean you can't capture that same magic that you did when you created it prior. The love changes, man. It's like you done been married for 25 years and you see things differently. You know what I mean? And I don't think that the love for the music
So you don't think
can't be
someone like a
recaptured.
Swizz Beat could go in the studio with all three of them collectively say, "Here's an idea I have for this
I don't
record,"
think Swizz. I
and
wouldn't
then
want
let
to.
them
I
do it?
wouldn't want to. I mean, Swizz and the Fugees is not a good.
Okay, Just
That's
Blaze.
not a. Not even Just Blaze. Because
Sadiq.
who knows? You know what I mean?
Sadiq wants to sit down and
Nah.
No?
Nah.
Okay. All
I
right.
just, like I said, man, their focus and shit like that has changed, man. They don't have that same hunger that they did when they were doing the score.
No, I'm just saying, perfect scenario.
Yeah,
if they all came together,
you
willing to
can
work.
get
Still,
fucking-
you don't
you
think it
can-
would still work?
You can get Quincy Jones, fucking
Quincy.
get Quincy, Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, and
Barry Gordy.
Barry Gordy, and fucking Smokey all in the goddamn room for fucking 8 months, and you know what I mean? It just ain't happening, bruh.
So speaking of being locked in the studio for not a long time, a short amount of time, the one and only Lil Wayne said on an MTV interview that in one night he recorded 53 songs. Fact or fiction, Simon?
That's fiction.
That's fiction. You don't
Because
believe it?
there's no fucking way. Because recording is for non-artists. I mean, shit. I'm pretty sure everybody's a rapper now or has been and shit.
Right.
But as far as if you know the process, and I think one of the most tedious things for me in the process was the mix. You know, you get in there, record your shit, keep it pushing, and then, you know, you got to at least get a rough fucking mix. And even if you're doing a rough mix, it's, you know, the mix is fucking 20-30 minutes. So just getting a cool mix of running through the fucking track.
What if you eliminate the mixing process? Because for someone like yourself, you self-funded. You know, so you had a budget that was, you didn't have the time to go back and say, yo, I gotta I need you to turn the vocals up on the, you had to get that shit right then and there on the spot. It was what the shit we had to do. It was on the spot. We gotta nail this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Someone like a Wayne could probably just walk in his own home studio,
Yeah, but still.
turn on
and
his mic, and just rap.
Yeah, but nah, I'm telling you, I think the most tracks that I've done, and I think it was like a 36-hour period but we were writing the shit, and then just writing the shit, no mixing and no shit like that, and within a 36-hour time frame, I think I did 9, and those were collective tracks, you know what I mean? So 53, he wasn't writing.
says.
He wasn't writing shit. He was spitting gibberish. Shit
In
for-
the interview, he got slick and he said files. So I had 53 files.
Yeah, you know,
So-
I've had hooks with 45 files. So
Right,
you know what I
so
mean. These motherfuckers stack vocals and shit like that. You know what I mean. So
and if he's just spitting off the top of his head, could you get 53 verses in a night off the top of the head?
I mean, you could.
You
but
could.
Man, yeah,
I could.
that shit would be shitty as fuck. You
Yeah,
know.
well, again, yeah.
But you could edit it.
You
You
could
know?
do whatever. You could go back, use his reference. You could drop him his mixtape
True
tracks.
that, yeah.
I mean, you know, I don't believe him either. You know, in what he's saying, 53 songs. I don't believe he recorded 53 songs.
Yeah, there's no fucking way.
I believe he has 53 recorded raps. You know, whether they're verses,
yeah.
you know, whether they're 16s
And that's
or,
still, yeah.
you know, whatever. He dumbed out and rhymed for 3 minutes straight or whatever. I've heard him rhyme for that amount of time. He has the ability to go ahead and do so. So maybe he equates that to a song.
Could
You know,
be.
who knows?
Yeah,
You know what I
who
mean?
fucking-
Shit. I've at one point tried to piece verses from different shits together to make some shit happen. You know, it then ultimately didn't end up working. You got to rewrite on the spot or whatever. But again, this is someone who has the resources to do that type of shit and the time, the luxury. Someone who's no longer has luxury in, I guess, what he hasn't had it for a while. Mr. Harvey Weinstein is headed to jail for 23 years for first-degree criminal sex act and second-degree rape. So for him, this is basically a death sentence. No disrespect. He's an old dude, 23 years. If this sticks, doesn't get reversed or
It's
there's
done,
not,
right? He convicted, right? That's
right, but you can go in and you
the
can
judge
appeal,
is
you can appeal the eviction and shit like that.
True
and
that.
You never know. I mean, I don't know if Trump has the nuts to pardon him.
Oh, shit.
You know what I mean? But
you
never
take
got
the
power.
mind off of the fucking unrest.
You never, you never know. So this is basically a death sentence. What are your thoughts on this, Simon?
I mean, he had to go, but I didn't know what the fuck he did and shit. You know what I mean? Like as far as, I mean, I knew he was fucking, with the industry and shit like that. As far as with the movies and stuff like that. But man, this motherfucker founded Miramar, and I didn't know that shit.
Yeah. So industry titan.
Mm-hmm.
If he says if there's a movie that he's funding and that he's helping, finance put together and make it a motherfucking movie, and he wants someone for that role, then you get that job. So Selma Hayek had came out and said that she didn't say that he had raped her, but made her life a living hell, was very aggressive with her, and constantly made advances and things of that nature. Is it Ashley Judd? Remember the actress, was in all the suspense flick with Morgan Freeman there for a minute. At one point, she was killing the game. Like every single female suspense flick was her. Long Kim a Spider, I think Just Cause. I own some of them. They were dope ass flicks. The one with, oh man, I forget what it was called. But anyway, supposedly he raped her. You remember the Italian chick from Jungle Fever? Tony Soprano's jump off. I forget what her name was in on Sopranos, but she was his little jump off or whatnot, one of the many. I think her name is Annabella Sharori or something like that.
No, I don't.
No disrespect if I fucked up your name, but she was raped. So a lot of women were sexually abused and assaulted by this cat. So I have no mercy for him, and so he's gonna be in Rikers, but might get transferred to a less cushier part of Rikers, but he's gonna, or a better part of Rikers. But from what I understand, he's gonna be doing some hard time.
Yeah, and deservedly so. Shit.
Yeah, and that's just for where that happened here. That doesn't have anything to do with anything that could happen in California. Yeah. So this is just for that one.
Damn.
So I don't know if this is enough and they just kind of leave him alone, or if they continue to try to come at him. But what's going to happen though, this is definitely going to open up a civil side to where you're going to see ladies suing him left and right.
Oh hell yeah!
And his estate, and that's a fucked up part. He probably has enough money for his people to survive this, but it's fucked up. Yeah, he got big.
He sold this shit to Disney. Disney was involved with this motherfucker.
So I'm telling you, he's got enough money. He's cool. I feel for his family. I feel if he has kids. I don't know his situation, but I feel for his grandkids. Because this changes your life, as it did to the people who he assaulted. So again, no sympathy, but it's just fucked up. For his family, for him, you did your shit. Enjoy your tuna sandwiches, motherfucker.
Oh shit! There they gonna have the jacket on him, hubby.
Oh yeah, no, he's gonna be PC. He's gonna be cool, unless he does some.
He ain't gonna be.
Unless he does some Tekashi 6ix9ine shit and wants to snitch in there and tell on the other famous people who doing the same shit. That's when he'll get handled. But if he goes and he shuts his mouth and eats his tuna fucking sandwiches and gets to be on his laptop, he's just gonna be confined in locked up. It should be worse for him. But at the end of the day, if this is what he truly did, he'll have to pay for it. We shouldn't worry about that. So speaking of kids, Tiana Wallace, Big's daughter, CEO of his clothing line Notorious, which she's one of the designers. She just had her first ever walkway fashion show or whatever. They have a store in Brooklyn. I checked it out. They don't have anything above 2X, so I'm gonna have to wait to copy anything
until she get a big and tall section.
I'm waiting for the big and tall.
We're waiting for you, mama.
Come on, Tiana, make it happen. So she says, "Hey, I don't want to live on my father's money. When I was going to Penn State, I worked in the cafeteria. I want to be my own person, which I commend. Here's a confusing thing to be signed. The name of the clothing line is Notorious. The majority of the imagery is your father. So, not that you're living off of your father, but it's just confusing that is what you want to do.
Well, I mean, it's...
What say you?
I mean, it's... I mean, with what's going on, I mean, I understand what she's trying to say. She's just young and just didn't express it properly. You know what I mean? She wants to make her own way, basically. So, I mean, that's exactly what she means. So, and not necessarily wanting to piggyback of you know, her father's success. But, I mean, unfortunately, you know, I mean, her father was a legend, and, you know what I mean, we're always going to tie it to her.
Right.
You know, just off of the strength of Big. So, you know, nothing wrong with that. And, I mean, you know, she's not abusing the imagery of Biggie or, you know, doing anything negatively. So, you know what I mean? Like, she has nothing to worry about, or she shouldn't have to explain anything because, you know, I mean, she's in a whole different lane and, you know, she's in the fashion and, you know, Big was rocking fashionable shit, but he wasn't designing.
Yeah, I'm glad she's like not a rapper. I'm glad that she's not. No, I'm being honest. So let me ask you this. Who is hip-hop's most successful kid? You got Romeo. You got You got Romeo. You have forgetting somebody who's just off the top of my head right now.
Hip-hop's most successful kid.
Yeah, that second generation. Who is it?
Right now, I mean, it's I mean,
O'Shea's out there acting.
I mean, he might have a while to go.
Forgetting somebody. You have the Smith kids.
Yeah.
They out there doing it.
They kind of do their thing, but, you know, as far as, I don't know, maybe Jay Prince's son? Undercover, you know.
Undercover business, you know, making moves, mogul tip, young mogul tip.
I like how he moves.
Yeah.
He just low key, you know what I mean?
That might be. Yeah, that's a good question. We have to fact check that one. That was just another one that just kind of came to my mind. Yeah. But, no, I mean, big props to Tiana. What I would love to see, and maybe, again, this could be behind the scenes, and we're unaware of this, but where's Puff's involvement in this, man? No, I know that.
No, I'm laughing because, you know, Puff don't, you know, Puff ain't loyal. You know what I mean? Shit.
It's real crazy to me, man. And again, I don't know. He could be involved, but it would make sense if, you know, he was able to somehow help
her. Platform and, you know what I mean?
Yeah, do a collabo. Sean John Notorious line. I'm sure he's the nigga that owns all the rights to the imagery.
Yeah.
Just want to be real about that.
Yeah.
I'm sure he owns, you know,
the likeness
and all of that.
Intellectual properties
and all of that, or a large portion of that.
Yeah.
So he might have had a point when it came to Mace. Might have. I shouldn't have to give you your contract, or I shouldn't have to give you a publishing back for whatever little chump change you're offering me, $2 million. When at the end of the day, I think it's $20 million a year is what his publishing is worth. Or it's made $20 million since
collectively.
Since whenever. Somebody threw a number out there online. I forget who it was. But so I'm not going to sell you that Mace. Sorry. But Big's offspring.
It's a business, though. You know what I mean? Like, I don't.
Yeah, but you're gonna make money unless you think that Big's name and brand isn't worth anything yet.
Nah, it's definitely worth it. Yeah,
it's definitely worth it because, you know, you familiar with the Funko Pops? I got a couple of them, right? Well, they dropping an album cover, Funko Pop, which is gonna be the Ready to Die album cover with the little baby with the Funko Pop baby with the afro. Definitely copy. It's probably like $20. You know that Puffy had his hand in,
of course,
you know, the trademarking, the licensing, the agreement just to go ahead and do that shit. So hopefully that's money that's being funneled back to Biggie's kids. But see, this was what I'm saying is, again, where's Puff at least championing this. She got a website. Where's Puff championing this?
Yeah.
You know, Casanova performed at the event. Her brother came through and showed some love. So big shout outs to her. And again, I could be completely wrong. Puff could be supporting 100% day one. I'm just talking out the side of my neck. I'm just talking about visibility.
Yeah.
You know, this is big. This is Big's daughter.
Maybe the love ain't there, bruh.
Well, again, I hope that's not true. I hope we just talking big shit.
Yeah,
I hope we just talking big shit. So speaking of big shit, 10 years later, finally, it's coming. It's here. Jay Electronica drops his long-awaited debut. Now, you didn't have a chance to hear all of it. I didn't have a chance to hear. I heard all of it, but I didn't have a chance to really hear it. I was trying to get through it while I was doing some shit with my son.
Yeah.
What are your first impressions?
Nah, man. Oh man, I feel let down, man.
In what way?
In all aspects of it, you know what I mean. And and it's not even the fucking message behind the shit, because I mean what they're doing is just, you know, they bringing up basically the teachings of the nation and shit like that. But I mean, it's, you know, that's pretty much it. There's no message behind the shit, or you know what I mean.
Well,
like,
there's a message in the teachings of the nation, no?
No, of course, but you
Right.
want to. But to me personally, that should be taught by the teachings of the nation. You know what I mean? Like,
So you don't
not
look
musically.
at Jay as at either Jay's.
Bro, yeah, Jay sold his people out, and Jay Electronica was fucking with a white girl. You know what I mean? Like, like you know what I'm saying? Like, dude,
What, so
how real are they to the nation? You know what I mean? Like, you know, I mean, I understand forgiveness and shit like that, but you know what I mean? Like, they both got they suspect moves as far as being true to it. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you this.
I don't believe that shit.
So everybody's making a big deal about this Jay. A couple lines where he, you know, basically defends his actions for the business deal with the NFL, saying he got more money than the NFL, got more money than, you know, Goodell and all the players on the sidelines and all this kind of stuff. So bars or how do you feel about that?
I mean, you know, he's not on that level. You know, he might have money, but you know, he don't have NFL owner money. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's not on that level. You know, you're talking about 30, 40 years of, you know, being in this business. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Year.
Like,
right.
So he, you know, he's just being cocky and with the NFL, he's not in that arena. You know, I understand he's trying to get there or whatever, but like I said, he ain't. Man, he ain't doing nothing special, man. He's just going along and rubbing elbows, and he's not that dude in the NFL. They don't respect him. He's just there.
By mentioning the whole situation, do you think that he knew he fucked up on how the deal progressed, how everything rolled out, how
No, you know, because
he was left basically holding his bag of accountability, and to date it doesn't look like a lot of the shit that they said they were going to do got done. So do you think that's why he even mentions this?
Yeah, he's self-conscious because we, you know what I'm saying, like, motherfuckers pulled his cover. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it is. The truth is the truth, and you know what I mean. He's got to answer for it.
Yeah.
You know, like, and this is, and I mean, Jay is like an old relationship where you was really in love, but then it just ended up on a fucking bad term, and you just end up hating. No, you didn't. You make the song cry. You just you just don't want to deal with them no more. You don't hate they fucking guts, but you know what I mean. You're just like, you know.
I'm not wish the worst for them, but you just don't.
You're over it. You're over it. Yeah. They're not worth your energy. They're not worth your energy, your thought, your time. You just over it. And
so
Jay,
no longer
Jay is like that with me, man. I used to love Jay and everything that he stood for, but it's just, you know, all this sucker shit going on and shit. Like, I can't fuck with it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just more and more disappointing and shit like that. You just had high hopes for somebody, and he just like a letdown. It's not even like an ex. You know what is a better reference? I had the reference earlier today. it's like an old homie that you would have died for. You know what I mean? And then
That's
they pulled their loyalty to some bullshit, and you're just like, man, you would in your heart you would still die for him because that's just how loyal of a motherfucker you are. But you know in the flip side, it's not gonna fucking happen. You know what I mean? But that's how real that motherfucker supported him, and that's, you know what I mean, that's how much I was behind Jay when he was coming up. But just when you see his true intentions, and you know, he's talking about having money and the players and shit like that, and he's still a capitalist though, you know what I mean? And that's, you know, that's the level that he's on, is he's making moves to capitalize, you know what I mean? Like,
it's hard for me to listen to a rich man try to give me humble knowledge.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
And then remind you how much richer he is and in a better position than everyone else. But then I'm trying to give you knowledge of self at the same time. You know what I mean?
I'd rather hear that. I'd rather hear that from somebody that's living the truth. You know what I mean? And I'd rather hear it from Farrakhan, or, you know what I mean, anyone of the nation that lives this every day, and, you know, or infectious with their people. You know what I mean? You know, I don't want to hear this from Jay. And like I said, with Electronica, I really don't know too much about Electronica, but like I said, he's with the white girl. So I mean, I don't know what's worse, you know, to the nation, is white girl or pork. You know what I mean? Like, shit. But I know they both know that I think they'd forgive you more for a McRib than, you know, bringing home Ashley and shit. You know what I mean? Shit.
You know, we said for a McRib.
You know, like,
so,
shit.
I can't give this a frisbee or anything yet. I can't say it's dope overall, because I need to sit down and really listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like that they involved Travis Scott, and he was on the chorus of the record, and the beat was changing like these new
the production was
these
not
new
great.
wave records. But that's just me, you know. So, but Jay definitely had some standout verses on there. And there's one where it was a song they recorded the night Kobe died, and Jay's on it or whatever. One of the many Jay-Z tracks. But Jay Electronica's verse on there kind of gives you a peek into the window of his soul, where he's saying that, you know, he's not confident in who he is. Talking about looking in the mirror, you know, this is all he sees, and he doesn't see this. All he sees is flaws and stuff like that. So someone who, when he first hit the scene and dropped, you know, the record with Just Blaze and the mixtapes, you would think he would be so confident because of his skill as an MC. And I think it was Andre Benjamin, who was on the Rick Rubin joint, who said the same thing. I'm just not confident in myself anymore. So to have these elite level rappers not be confident in themselves, you know what I mean, is crazy to me, especially because as an MC, it's all about your bravado. You know what I mean? But to see that deep in there within their psyche, they didn't really truly believe, you know, in themselves.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
Just, I mean, they the kid that's dressing up like Nipsey. They just, you know, musically, and, you know, not feeling that love, and unfortunately, in it, deeper than the love for the music is the love of self, man. And man, I'm telling you, bro, we hurting out here, man. You know what I mean? Hey, I hurt too. I can't say I'm no better than anybody else. You know what I mean?
We're all flawed people, man.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just unfortunate, man, because we have more faith probably in them than they have in themselves. You know what I mean? And you know what, man? I'm going hard on these cats or whatever, but if I seen Jay Electronica, I'd hype his ass up. You know what I mean? And try to get him to at least what his potential is. You know what I mean? You know, so I mean, yeah, I go hard on cats. I'm very critical with music and stuff like that, because I listen to it still as an artist. I'm not writing or anything like that, but as an artist, I would feel
ear and that passion.
If I was there, this is how I would have, you know, approached the track and went at it, you know, this specific way. So
you're hearing it from a different perspective.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna lap it. I'm gonna listen to it. You know, I heard a couple shit. There was some things that I did like from Jay on. I forget what. I think it was like the Ghost of Soldier Slim. I think Jay had a hard ass verse on there. or something. But again, I'm gonna have to sit down and listen to it. Alchemist had a heavy instrumental on there and or beat or whatnot, and Jay was definitely doing a sing on that too. So there's some definite there's some cool shits on there. I was expecting a more Jay Electronica only album. I had heard the rumors of the Watch the Throne type shit, and it's true. And so I'm a little disappointed with that because I wanted to hear a Jay who was coming for niggas' head every single time. And I think we got more of kind of
the humble.
This is just how, well, with Jay Elect, this is what I'm feeling. This is what I'm going through. There's points to this album, and again, I've only heard it one little run through where he's really reflective, and you can tell he was going through some shit.
Yeah, but I think he should have came with the hunger shit first, and then this could have been the second project.
Yeah, definitely. But who knows? This might be it.
We didn't fuck. After waiting 10 years for this shit, like I
I'm
think
not waiting another 10 years. You know what I mean? But salute to him for finally dropping it. We fucked around and we trashed you for not dropping it. Hip hop, all of hip hop did, and you gave us a complete project. So salute to you. That puts you ahead of Andre. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people who never came with that album. We're still waiting for Detox. You know, so you completed it. So salute to you, Mr. Jay Electronica.
Even though you had a tag team partner and shit in this shit. Hanging off the ropes. Whoa. Right there and shit.
Yeah, man. It was in there, man. The Rockers.
Yeah.
Shit, anything else before we get out of here? Sam, Capizzle?
Nah, man. Just everybody be safe, man. And, you know, man, protect your family, man. Don't be out there, you know, shit. Stay in as much as you can until, you know, we get this thing figured out. And, man, shit, love y'all, man. And, shit, don't let it get out of hand, man. Don't get too wild and, man, just stay composed, man. We don't need it to be wild. The media and everybody is hyping this shit up, so don't fall into the trap, you know, and just be patient, man. This shit's gonna get figured out, and we in God's hands right now.
Yeah, man, that's real talk, man. People just need to be decent people. You know what I mean? Like, you know, unfortunately, everybody is scared for the most part. Like, everybody is scared for the most part. So, in that scenario, you have to be decent. You have to be a good person, because that person next to you is just as scared as you. Why do you think they're waiting 3 hours in a fucking line to get some food or looking for diapers? Because everybody's in a state of panic. You're not the only one. So this is the time where you need to be a decent human being. Open up your perception and realize that this is not all about you. Wash your fucking hands. Don't sneeze. Don't come to work sick.
Yeah.
Don't. Because right now, you could really hurt somebody. And you might think, oh, I work with all these young people, or I work with people who are pretty much in good shape. But if what they're saying is true about this virus, you're going to infect someone else who's not going to know. They're going to go home to their loved one. They might have a grandmother or a parent or a child with a fucked up immune system or, you know, respiratory shit. And then that's a person who ends up losing their life. Because you wanted to save sick time so you could go see Blueface at concert. Or you wanted to save sick time so you could go see the Raiders at the, you know, the draft or some shit. Or, you know, you was going up to do whatever. Just right now it's time to be decent and honest. You're not feeling good, go get it checked out. Be honest. But there's a lot of things, information out there. If you're listening and you're worried about your kids and the school being closed, and you know you're gonna have to stay home, and what are you gonna do financially? Go to the California EDD page,
Employment Development Department,
and there's information there on how you can get some family medical leave or some type of assistance. And a lot of the cities are putting centers and things together for the kids.
Meals
So again, hopefully you have enough food and water, because shit's going crazy. People are just hoarding food and things of that nature. because again, we don't know how long it's going to continue for, and we don't know what to expect. But if you haven't, get out to the stores, get what you need.
Saab need to get what he needs.
Right, and think of alternatives. You know, be smart. Maybe you go to the local egg place instead of going to Costco to get the eggs. Might be a little bit more expensive, but I bet you if you live in a community like myself, I can go get fresh eggs. There's a dairy nearby. I can go get fresh milk. You know, for those folks who live close to farms locally, small farms. I live close to little small mom and pop farms. There's farmers markets. There's swap meets. You know, so you're gonna have to get creative. You know, we as a people have gotten very lazy, and we can just hit Walmart, we can hit Costco, and all these other places. But when that happens, then, you know, what do? So that's just some things you can do. You got to be creative right now to get some of the things that you need to. And you know what, folks that don't know of places like Superior, El Super, you know, Rio, there's a Cardenas, there's a chain of supermarkets out there where you can spend your money, and they are catered to the Latino community, yes. But if you're looking for stuff, probably a place, you know, they're going to have it. And, you know, again, be smart. And, again, wash your hands, take care of yourself. Stop kissing these heifers on Tinder.
Swipe left to avoid death.
And that goes for the ladies, too. You know.
Go chinas and go chinos.
Watch who you're letting stick your tongue in your mouth. But, yo, we're going to end up getting out of here again. You listen to an honest conversation about hip-hop. Of course, always featuring Sam Capone. Big shout-outs to our brother Pooh, recuperating. You know, he's ready to lose his virginity in 2020.
Like a virgin. He wild, man. Motherfucker laid out in the bed and shit over here plotting on some pussy, man.
Hey,
that's my dog, man.
Forward thinking.
The stroke is on the loose and shit, man.
Hey, you know what I mean? He back.
You know,
instead of 3 times dope, 3 times stroke, but it won't be a third stroke. That third stroke is gonna be the third stroke, if you feel me. You know what I mean?
Man,
so big shout outs to you and Pooh. We love you, man, and shit, we'll see you soon. I'll see you soon. Sam, see you soon. But like I said, on the book, you want to get busy, slide that little curtain over, like Norm used to say, rest in peace. Tilt that brim to the left. So he's gonna tell one of them ladies, slide that curtain to the right, baby girl.
Oh shit.
But
you got the window view too, man.
Yeah, got the window view. Doing it.
A little patio and shit, man.
Doing
it. Hey, send an invite to the plantation, baby. Shit.
You fool. But yeah, thank you for rocking with us. You know where to find us. Facebook. An honest conversation about hip hop podcast. You can go ahead and find us on Google Play. You can find us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, anywhere that quality podcasts are. You're gonna find us. As always, rocking behind us is Nice Rockwell. Go ahead and check out his music on YouTube. That's NYCEROCKWELL. Nice Rockwell. DeLorean Music. Big shout outs to the boy there. Big shout outs to Hogs, DJ Hogs. Big shout outs to you, man. Thank you, Sam, for the hat and the shirt. Boy, you're gonna have to slim down a little bit to get in there. And then the music off top, man. Lace me with some classic oldies. Really not my joint, but my mother-in-law and my wife were hyped. And I guess there was a lot of rare shit there. So like almost 7 hours of music. Damn. So if you need a USB to ride around in your whip, heavy in the car club community, he's got the plug on the USBs. They're reverbed. I'm not gonna lie and pretend I know what that means, but it's supposed to make it sound a little better for your whip or whatnot. Crispy clear. A lot of shit that was old. Before they let niggas sing R&B.
Oh shit!
You know what I mean? Little Danny and the Turtlenecks type shit. Sounded like it was really clear, really really clear. So go ahead and check him out on Facebook or Instagram. I think it's Hogs One Music. So go ahead and check him out for summer's cracking and shit. Since you're gonna be quarantined, you might as well have some music
7 hours of entertainment.
Yeah, might have some music for the barbecue, baby. But that's it. Again, it's been your boy, Hip Hop Old Head. You listen to an honest conversation about hip hop, and until next time, peace.